There are pivotal, game-changing moments in every person's life. The Greek call them kairos moments. For some, those moments are so significant that they immediately fracture that life, ripping it forever in two parts: everything before that moment and everything that came after. My kairos moment occurred just after 3 p.m. on the 3rd of October 2006. The day had started normally enough. I woke up early as usual, assisted by my eldest daughter, Emilia, who was 3.5 at the time. As the house stirred into life, Millie, as we affectionately called her, left my wife Kate and me and went to wake up her little sister Ebony, who was just 15 months old. The girls watched some cartoons as Kate prepared their breakfast, and I got ready for work. It has been a Cawthorn family tradition that we all sit down at the table together, eat our breakfast and discuss our plans for the day. After breakfast, the girls and I put on some loud music and danced around the living room. I would throw each one up in the air and catch her as she squealed and giggled with delight. I thought to myself how lucky I was and what a great way to start the day. At the time, I was working as an industry advisor to young people's trends and careers, like a youth futurist, an initiative funded by the Australian federal government. I'd been in the job for only a few months, but I loved it. I was 26 years old. I had a big job, good salary, and a great company car, plus I had a huge amount of freedom to work how I pleased. Essentially, my job was to follow cultural and economic trends so I could help predict how those trends would affect 13 to 19-year-olds entering the workforce. I would then liaise with employers and government to make sure young people were encouraged to move into industries and professions where there were job opportunities. I also watched for signs of market saturation so I could pass information back to the government which would alert them to any likely reduction in new jobs in a particular industry or field. I had a young family and a full-time job that sometimes required that I drive up to 15 kilometres a week. I was also involved in my local community, running a youth group and owned my own music studio where I taught hip-hop and singing. Life was definitely hectic. As I climbed into my car, a white Holden V8 Statesman, Kate and the girls stood at the door to wave me off. There was a little L-shaped dent on the roof of the Statesman, just above the driver's seat, and Millie always thought it looked like a love heart. We felt it was a good omen of love and protection as I set off to work each day. I had a couple of meetings and a lunch appointment in Burnie, about 150 kilometres from our home in Launceston in Tasmania, which is where I grew up and have spent most of my life. It was a little after 3 in the afternoon when I said goodbye to my lunch companions. I remember shaking hands, little knowing that this was the last right-handed handshake I would ever share. I began the journey home on the Bass Highway, and about 10 minutes out of Devonport, a city half an hour from Burnie near Parramatta Creek, I fell asleep at the wheel.